the bombers and the terrorists, and thank God they've been caught, and thank God we will hopefully find out more about the events that transpired this week. We also had the terrible tragedy in Texas with the fertilizer bombing, where there were 12 people who were killed and well over 100 that were injured, people who lost their homes. And then we also saw this week the grisly trial of a monster, a blood-soaked monster, that the media chose to ignore, but will not be ignored in the greater scheme of things, because you cannot wantonly take and destroy innocent human life and possibly think that an almighty God does not see what is going on and will not bring justice to prevail. But also on another note, I was privileged to have been a part of history in this historic of weeks in our American analogy. I was chosen to be one of 3 Americans who went to the United Kingdom to represent the United States at the funeral to honor the Baroness Margaret Thatcher. This delegation was chosen by Speaker John Boehner. The President of the United States didn't see fit to send his own delegation. The United States Senate did not send a delegation, but the House of Representatives did. Because you see, this was an amazing woman of tremendous talents, and one of whom I think can be instructive to each one of us in the American dream. While I was in Parliament, however, while I was in Washington, or in London, I had the opportunity to be able to go to the House of Parliament, meet with members of Parliament, sit down and have luncheon with them, and tour the House of Lords and the House of Commons. I must tell you, I felt like I was very prepared, however, because one of my favorite shows is Downton Abbey. And I've seen every episode. So I knew to wear a hat, I knew exactly what to do, but luckily for all of you, I wasn't there long enough to pick up a British accent, because I can only imagine the humor possibilities if you join a cheerio old chap with "Yeah, sure, you betcha." But in all seriousness, it was truly an honor to be able to be in London, to be at the funeral, to honor the memory of the Prime Minister. And it struck me when I was given the theme for today's session, being about the American dream, that it would be wise for us to examine a British leader who based her time as Prime Minister upon the American dream. You see, Margaret Thatcher was living in a nation that was choosing decline at the time. They were choosing a concept called socialism. And Margaret Thatcher looked across the pond at the United States, and she saw a growing nation, a vibrant nation, a nation that was embracing the future and growth. That's exactly what Margaret Thatcher knew could be possible once again in the United Kingdom. And why not? It's the United Kingdom that gave us the basis of liberty, which is the Magna Carta. She knew that liberty and freedom was also the basis of England, and she knew that they could have it again. And she knew that their awakening and the revival could come out of the living example that lay before the United Kingdom. That's the United States of America. And she was proud of us. In her 2005 eulogy to President Ronald Reagan,